Hey, besties, welcome back to another episode of the Nurse Aspect where we assess and evaluate. I am your host, Nurse Becca, and today we have on the show Nurse Naj.
Hey, you guys.
How are you feeling?
I'm so happy to be here. I really just thank you. I'm honored, truly, truly.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for even choosing to come. So I thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
I'm going to get right into it.
Hey,
Why
do it.
did you get into nursing?
So I got into nursing. I started off as a CNA, and as I was working as a CNA, I was like in my 20s, and I was thinking like, okay, I really should start doing something with myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I did initially. I went to LPN school. That didn't work out. It turned out to be like one of those scammer schools.
Yikes.
Yes.
Okay.
Like, yeah. So I kept taking the exit exam,
Mm-hmm.
and I would take it, get a 73, take it, get a 73. And then I would take it again and get a 70. And
You got the same score every single time.
yes. And it was like 70 plus people, 70 plus nursing students taking it. And like only 3 would pass. And like I kind of heard about the school being like a little scamish because you got to pay in cash and different things like that. But I was just like, okay, I'm smart. I can do this. Girl, goodbye. I went to do one of those like quick recap schools in New York and went back, got another 73 while I was getting 95s on those
Oh,
exams.
that's
So
crazy.
yeah, I just was like, I'm out of here. I went for RN school, and everyone at work thought I was crazy because imagine I'm working as a CNA. I got so close to finish with my LPN, and even you got the CNA mommies, and they're like, "Yeah, girl, you're about to be up out of here." And then I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, "I'm back in school again," and they're like, "What is wrong with this girl?" Like
Mm-hmm.
everyone, the school had told me like I would for sure pass if I paid $6,000, and I was just like, "Yeah," and I was just like, "I'm not gonna pay the $6,000." Even my grandma was like, "I'll give you the money, girl." My grandma was gonna give me the money,
But
but
God.
yeah, but I didn't do it. I just started all over, took the anatomy, took all the math, all the
Mm-hmm.
sciences. But it was worth it in the end. I ended up where everyone was calling me foolish and all these other type of names. I ended up still working there in that nursing home as a RN. And now I was like, the LPNs had to answer to me, the CNAs had to answer to me. I wasn't too petty. A little petty, but not too
Just a
petty.
scotch.
Just a
Something
little
light.
bit. Just like, when things happen, they're like, "Oh, get the RN." I'll be like, and then I would purposely wear a white coat too, just
Oh,
because,
not a white coat. Oh
just too much, doing too
yeah.
much. But yeah, so really just like kind of just being in the field already and just desiring more. I
Mm.
decided to go for my RN, and it was great until I mean, it's always been great, but in the nursing home, it was
Mhm.
great until it wasn't. It was a
Yeah.
hard transition from CNA to RN. More so, like I was delegating, and then people didn't really respect you, and they were like, "Oh, just wasn't you just cleaning patients last week?
Right.
Like, what are you
It's
talking
it's
about?"
harder to come out of that role, especially if you're working in the same facility. Unfortunately, like not everybody will respect you because I feel like they might be rooting for you sometimes. Well, might be rooting for you, like while you're like in the trenches. But then
Yeah,
once you become,
yeah,
it's like it kind of just feels like you're like they take it like, oh, you're talking down to them. As soon
yeah.
as like you be asking for the simplest things that's within their scope, and and now all of a sudden, oh, you must think that you're whatever. So it can kind of become a little
Why you can't do it?
chaotic. Yeah, right.
What? I'm pushing a cart. I got wound care to do. I got calls to answer. Like, what do you mean? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, no, yeah, it was a lot. And yeah, I just had to get up out of there. Cause then after that, like as I was working as an RN, I was pushing the cart. But then, just like with any nursing job, even if you're in the hospital setting, baby, after like 3-4 months, you charge nurse. After
Mhm.
you be in charge nurse, they want you to be doing all these extra things. So it's just
Mhm.
like they had me house supervisor. And mind you, like I didn't even have that much experience.
Oh
And
no,
now,
that's okay. It's as soon as that R and
yeah,
them two
yeah,
little letters that's behind your name.
girl.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're responsible for assessment. You're responsible for this. Like, yeah, let's get the supervisor on shift.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, now I'm a supervisor. Like, when you question if something is in your scope,
Yeah.
and they're like, "It is, ma'am." I'm like, my mindset had to shift quickly, very
Yeah.
quickly.
So what did you do? Like, did you ever like work in the hospital after you got your
Oh
RN? Or?
yeah, so great question. So I wanted to get in a hospital. It was very hard. I was applying for everywhere. I was applying for a lot of these nurse programs as well, like the little boot camps, the nurse boot camps, but nobody was taking me. After a year of working in the nursing home setting, I did manage to get a job at a hospital, and my manager at the time, She was a Black woman. She was a nurse practitioner.
Mhm.
And it was so funny because she interviewed me and she's like, where do you see yourself in 5 years? And I'm like, honestly, as a nurse practitioner. And she looked at me like, ma'am, like,
Mhm.
because you want to hear, oh, well, I hope I can grow into the
Yeah,
company and I
yeah.
plan to. I already
They
told
do
her,
not wanna hear, like, you're trying to leave to do anything else.
yeah, I
Yeah.
was like, baby, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh, I love that for you. And if you need anything, I'll be happy to help you. I
That's pretty
myself is
dope.
a, right? Because how often do you get
You
that?
definitely don't get that often at all.
Girl. So she was very helpful. Even when I first started, she had me work fives. So I was
Mm.
like do 5 8-hour shifts instead of the 3 12-hour shifts. And a crazy story was that like when I came off of the the 5 8s and onto the 3 12s, I was so used to being done at 3 p.m.
Mhm.
that it was just like I was just not like passing no meds. I wasn't doing anything. Like I don't know what I was
After
doing.
3 o'clock,
After 3 o'clock, I was
where
just
you're done with your
I was
shift.
done and I was looking at everybody else and I'm just like, why are they working so hard? And it wasn't until the night shift came and the lady was like, you didn't pass any of your 5 o'clock meds. And I was just like, and not wait, how did I don't even know how that happened. I was just like, what, there was 5 o'clock meds? And they were like, what do you think the rest of us are doing? Girl, it was crazy.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, I had to stay after and pass meds. And of course I never made that mistake
I
again.
bet you did
Girl, it was
it.
just terrible, terrible, terrible. So yeah, after that, I did a med surg for a year. And after med surg for a year, I went all along to ED. I stayed there 4.5 years. I did do travel three and a half of the years. I didn't
Oh,
travel too
okay.
far though. I was like in New York, New Jersey, South Jersey, upstate New York. Nothing like too crazy. I was still I was doing my nurse practitioner program and I was doing other things. So I just didn't want to leave and go too far. I did get a Cali license, girl. In my mind,
Mhm.
I was going to Cali. I never went. I got a multi-state license. I just got all these. I had all these licenses, and I'm like, didn't do anything with them, but it's okay. It was weird and random, but I was like, Lord, I feel like you're calling me to California, but no doors open. So
He was like, "That's right. That's no, the door opening part is right. Yeah, I didn't call you there. That's so
but I
funny.
had the license, and it wasn't cheap, but it was nice.
All right, well, I mean, at least you got a backup, I guess, if it doesn't work out
Y-
in New York anymore.
Yeah,
But
New York, New
I mean, I
Jersey,
feel like it's
whatever.
it's working out.
It's going good. We thank God. We thank God.
So what are you doing right now with your NP?
So right now, I'm board certified nurse practitioner.
Get it correct.
Yes, board certified. And so right now I'm in my doctoral program and I'm working on my dissertation. So I took a break from working as a provider just because it was too much with the notes and everything. Like seeing patients are fun, educating assessments, it's all good. But the notes, oh my gosh, you have to, especially with admissions, you have to go through the hospital chart and you got to go through all these things and you got to fill out. It was just a lot. I'm an adult gerontology nurse practitioner.
Mhm.
So my main thing is a primary care education type of thing like that.
Okay.
So when I do finish my doctoral, I plan to do like primary care nursing, more so like for the like urban communities and minorities because some of the biggest things that I've seen is like diabetes, hypertension, high cholesterol, stroke is a major one. My mom had a stroke actually, then my aunt had a stroke.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and then it was just a lot of things happening and it's just like you know, a lot of those strokes were caused by high blood pressure and they would take their medication. And then when they felt better, they wouldn't take their medication because they're
Mhm.
like,
Classic.
I'm cured. Everything's fine. But it's just like a lot of lack of education. Even when I work as an RN, I'm always going the extra mile to educate patients, especially like people of color, not only Black, but like Hispanics. One time I was working in the ED and this Hispanic man said his wife gave him an STD because he had this discharge coming from his penis and we checked his sugar and it was over 500 and he was like yeah and it was like it was just like what he was saying we're like sir your sugar is really high right now
Mhm.
and like he didn't have any STD or anything like that. I
Mhm.
was just like trying to explain it in a way that he would understand. I was just like there's too much sugar down there and
That
now
is
and his wife was
wild.
standing right there and then it was a really crazy story. And it took a like I think the guy was Cuban or no, he was Dominican. He's like, "Sir, your D is gonna fall off and you won't be able to."
You
He
won't be
was
able to
talking.
do not a
Yeah,
thing
he
with
was
it.
talking to him like they was on the streets. But he then he became more compliant. We started him on metformin, and then we kept him for a while.
Yeah.
He got admitted to the floors and stuff like that. Yeah, it's just a lot of lack of education, and I feel like there's a need, and I want to be a part of that need.
I mean, I think that's dope. I think that, definitely in minority communities, we're like totally infamous for being non-compliant. Especially, honestly, anytime I would get a patient that is diabetic, I'm like, oh great, I already know it's non-compliant. Can you tell me the last time you checked your sugar?
Mm.
Never. Can you tell me what medications you're taking? I think I'm taking aspirin. Okay, anything for diabetes? Yeah, I mean, I'm taking something. I don't really know what it. I don't know when the last time I took it.
Yeah,
And then of course your sugar is, 687. So
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah,
it's totally like I would honestly as soon as I get reported, I'm like, I get a diabetic patient, I feel like most of the time they're just not compliant
yeah,
at all.
yeah.
Yeah. So I get that.
And it's just like it really be the education part. I mean, of course they want to eat what they want to eat and then different things like that. But it's also like I think if you educate them, like a lot of times they see it as like a death sentence already, so they don't really care. But it's like, hey, you can actually modify your diet. Like you can
Hmm.
cut these things out. But like maybe not even out completely, right? Because I love ice cream. I don't
Hmm.
want to like stop eating ice cream. But maybe you don't have it in the middle of the night every night.
Right.
Maybe just, Sundays after service, have some ice cream. But like it's just about limiting.
It is, and I think that it's great that you also want to be involved in the community that way to help actually
Mhm.
be a change and make a change for for us. I feel like a lot of times, just as especially with the Black community, we go through things and like we could be symptomatic of stuff, but because we're so
Yeah.
used to like eating a certain way or being a
Yeah.
certain way that like or dealing with stress in a certain way that we by the time like it actually becomes symptomatic, unfortunately, it's too late. So I think
Yeah.
that being a pillar in the community in that sense is definitely something that is always needed. So
Yeah.
kudos to you.
Well,
Congratulations in advance on your
we thank
dissertation and
God.
your DNP.
Soon to be Dr. Najah.
Okay, Doc Nash, let's get it. So how did we get here? What chart like a boss?
So Chart Like a Boss, a documentation guide for nurses. So this book came from just me. I'm such a nerdy girl at times. So what happened was during the med surge times, I would have a binder, and in this binder it would be falls, protocols, lost items, what to do if you can't reach a provider, how to do if there's a code, what to do, everything like that. So I had this little binder, and every time something would go wrong or whatever would happen, they would come to me. And I would just tell them, show them, whatever. Like everyone always knew, like, oh, go ask Naja, go ask Naja. Like she knows
Mm-hmm.
the protocols. And this was definitely before the times of just searching something up on Epic, if people even have Epic, or just finding it. So after that, I did move on to emergency department. COVID happened, and then I found that a lot of the older nurses had left, and then it was just a lot of new nurses, and they didn't really know how to chart. They didn't know how to document. Assessments were a little bit weak. And you
Mm-hmm.
have to think like I'm sure you learned from like a very strong nurse, or have you had that experience like where
I
you've
have had that experience where I when I first started, I was not great at taking report, or even like doing a quick assessment. Like I just no, I didn't have an experience where I could say I learned like, watching a rapid or, whatever.
yeah,
When I was on orientation, I feel like I don't want to say like I was left alone, but I feel like I was kind of also left alone in a
yeah,
sense because why didn't I get a way to like appropriately like set up my report so I know how to take report correctly. Like I didn't get, you know, I didn't get the tools that I feel like I needed. But
yeah,
perhaps I was designed that way so that I could actually like learn, but I will say I did have a strong nurse that I was giving report to. It was like 7 a.m. and he stopped me mid report and he was like, no, no, no. He's like, the way that to be fair, I was all over the place. I was like, the patient's A4, the skin is good, and like intact. Um, he does have like asthma, and so he is on medications like albuterol. And then like he has like a weird walk, but I didn't really see him walk. And then I was literally just
all
bouncing all
over
over
the
the place. And he
place.
said, "Stop right there. I'm gonna
Yeah,
stop
yeah,
you. Like you're
yeah,
talking. Shoot. Let's." He's like, "I need you to just take this down." And he showed me like how to write a report. And so it was helpful in a sense where like and now when I'm getting a report from the ED, unless I'm getting the report for like a new nurse, I know the pertinent information I needed to ask so that I could actually, get what I need to know about this patient. Also, it helped because like there's times when like, you know, transport will drop your patient off and you don't
Mm,
even know the patient's there, but I need
yeah,
to be able to do a quick assessment. So
yeah,
at least if
yeah.
I got my report and I wrote it down in a specific way, I like, even though I don't know you, I know you. And so like that was great. But
Yeah.
I wish I had a tool like this. I took a gander here, and I like the fact that like one, it does have a little cheat sheet in terms of like how to set up your report if, in case you don't know how to take report or
Yeah.
give report. I love that that's in there. But it's not only just like charting information. I
Mhm.
love that like there's pictures in there for like how to give a like a sub Q injection or an IM injection.
Mm,
Um, Skin,
yeah.
even like knowing the stages and stuff like that. Because there's times when like I'm not gonna lie, when I was working tele, I'm just like I could obviously tell what a stage 4 is, but I'm just like stage 2, 3. I'm like the
Ish.
ISCAR,
Maybe
granulation, like
sloth. I don't know.
what's unstageable again? Like,
Yeah.
so I like the fact that there's actually stuff that, and it's small. Like I can
Yeah.
just throw it in. It's
Yeah.
not like the big, Siddharth's textbook that I'm carrying around. This you could throw in anything,
Yeah.
and you can read it. I like the abbreviations, like so I like there's like a lot of shortcuts, even a little like there's little like quotes every
Yeah.
couple of pages, like, and I just feel like, oh, that's so nice to actually read them. It's like encouraging when
Yeah.
I have my unit is on fire.
Yeah.
Like if I
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
have this with me and I'm like, oh, it's so nice to
You
like
need some
see something that's
inspiration.
so like, yeah, inspiration.
Yeah.
Like, all right, I could do this. So I like that it's actually a great resource for any nurse, whether you're a
Yeah.
student,
Yeah.
and you don't even have to be a nurse. Like, and I'm
Yeah.
not like obviously like I don't have stock in the book now, y'all. Okay, I'm just saying it is just that good. So
Yeah.
I love that.
And I love that you said that because although it is for nurses, like providers have bought this book, nurse practitioners, PAs, EMTs, physician, no,
Assistant.
physical therapy, yes,
Oh,
physical therapist, social workers. So what I did, I kind of did like a survey around the units too when I was working. And I was like, "Oh, what do you struggle in your charting? What do you find? What would you think about this? What do you think about that? How would you like this?" When I was in my nurse practitioner program, my doctoral professor was like, "Oh, why don't you add a history of presenting illness?" And I was like, "Oh, that's good."
mhm, mhm.
Like, so that was like, I have do's and don'ts, what you should do, what you shouldn't do. And it's also like someone said, a personal preceptor, which I love that because
That's
it
good.
shows you like how to communicate with nurse colleagues, how to communicate with providers, how to get what you want from other nurses. At the time, there was a time where I could not do IVs at all. Like I was not good at IVs. So what I would do is I would say to the nurse, "Hey, I see you have 3 blood sugars. I'll do your blood sugars, but can you go and do an IV in room 8 for me? Everything is there, everything is set up." And then they'll be like, "Yeah." So I used to be cleaning patients, I used to be trading patients. I mean, it was like a hot mess.
Also avoid doing the IV.
I had to avoid doing the IVs, but it was just, and then I became stronger at it. But it was just like it was a little intense initially. So there was just like little quick things, or even one time I remember a patient said they were in pain. And I was like, okay. So I called the doctor, and at the time, the doctor was like, okay, just give morphine 2 milligram. So I go, I draw it up, I do everything, and then I'm like, well, I drew it up in the room, but I pulled it out and everything, and I drew it up. And the patient is talking to me and everything. I was like, okay, I have your pain meds. They're like, wait, what's that? I was like, it's the morphine. And they're like, morphine? I only take Tylenol for my pain. I was like, what? So then I had the morphine. And like, how am I supposed to tell a nurse who didn't even watch me draw it up,
Yeah,
"Hey, can
like
you
this
waste
is
this with
yeah.
me? It's not saline or anything, I promise." Like, yeah, right. It was like, so then I put in there, like, if a patient is complaining of pain or anything like that, just ask the patient, like, "Hey, what do you take for pain?" So
Mm,
there's a lot of tips inside of the book before you get to the charting and the documentation, but it also gives descriptive charting. So when I was working in the ED, there was like psych patients, right? So is this patient attentive? Are they hallucinating? Do they have a rapid thought process? There's like different words in there in which you can describe are they talkative? Are they tearful on assessment? Then we move on for uh then we move on to, like you said, pictures, right? So
mhm.
there's pictures of different things, eye assessments, the pupils and stuff like that. And then we get into nurse notes and templates. So it's just like, and there's like headings, right? So it's like ADLs, and then there's notes for quick ADLs, and
Mhm.
then there's like notes for meds or a patient refused, or and then we go into templates where if it's for patient belongings, you can't reach the provider, AMA, suicide, different things like that. So it's a very compact book, but it's small.
No, I totally agree. I think it's like I said, a great resource for anyone to have. Just starting out into healthcare, like you can use this for any number of
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
Um, Quick question: Have you ever like done anything wrong in terms of documenting, or like documented something where you're like, let me try to cover it up? Like, have you made any mistakes in charting yourself?
I think the most I mean, I'm pretty on top of it girly just by nature.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, who is going to work like on my off days? I would read about nursing. I would read like EKG strips. I would read books about like protocols and procedures on how to do a Foley or
No.
whatever, like watching YouTube videos on ACLS. Even when there would be codes, I would run and be the documenter and then I would take a picture of it and be like, okay, CPR. Okay, after that, epi was given, this was given, that was so I would like study these things. So I'm a big nerd on documenting. I know she's like, "Girl."
I everything you're saying immediately no. I'm not doing a thing on my off day. I am so like I will go to break on the clock so I don't have to worry about it on my break.
Yeah, yeah,
Like, and so there's zero way,
yeah.
okay? If I'm not in school, there's zero way
Yeah,
that I'm going to be doing stuff, which I guess not the greatest because it's just like, doesn't I don't sound like a great nurse, but I
yeah,
just feel like my off time is my off time.
yeah, yeah.
I don't wanna think about I don't wanna think about my toenail being in
Mm.
the hospital, you know what I'm saying? So, like, I just feel like, nah.
I think, how I became that way is because I was overlooked so much. Like,
Mm,
the whole journey in nursing, I was overlooked. Like, I was a CNA, and then no one thought I could be a nurse. Then I
mhm.
went to LPN school to be a nurse, and that didn't work out. So they're like, "Oh, who does she think she is? She can't even finish LPN. No way she could be an RN." And
Mhm.
then I'm in RN school, and I got Black professors telling me I ain't gonna be a nurse, and I better just head back down to
That
the
is the
nursing home.
craziest thing.
Yeah, so it's just like and then I have that, so it's like I was always striving, but a healthy strive, not like a
It pushed you towards, like, your
yeah, not like
yeah.
a out of the control, I'm getting stomach ulcers from stress
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and, like, losing weight. No, it was just like, it was like, Imma show them, but not like, it wasn't vindictive or anything like that. It was just like, I know it's inside of me. I know I can and I feel like when you have the knowledge, like, nobody people really, like, take you a different way when you know what you're talking about,
Yeah,
because 'cause they're not gonna try you.
right.
Like,
No,
you
that's
could
true. Knowledge
disrespect
is power.
anybody,
Yeah,
but bring that over here and let's see what's happening.
right. Thanks for listening to another episode of The Nurse Aspect, where we assess and evaluate. Keep it locked in next week for part 2.